What's going on, Pear fans? Welcome back to another video on the channel, and today we're going to be reviewing round 6, ANZAC round at the Adelaide Oval, Port Adelaide versus West Coast, getting the job done by 40 points in front of 31,000 people. It was a beautiful day. It was an absolutely sensational day to play footy. I would know myself, making a return with St. Paul's, but it was, one of those days we just got the job done and you move on to next week. That's the sort of game we played against the Eagles, and the Eagles, well, they took it up to us, but definitely there's things to look at and to improve as we move forward. So let's get straight into it and review round 6. $109-69 in a game of football I look back on and probably will never watch again. It was just one of those days where you just think, we're playing a bottom side. They're probably bringing us down to their level. They've got no players. We probably should have smashed them by 80 or 90 points. But West Coast have been one of those teams this year that aren't really allowing themselves to be pumped, which is a respect to them. I think they've done a good job in that aspect. They lost to Geelong in gather round by only 40-odd points as well, in a similar type game where it looked to blow out, and then they clawed their way back in. But Port Adelaide weren't the greatest looking team on the day. We lost Todd Marshall really early, which definitely didn't help our situation going forward. And with him being concussed, it definitely opens the door for Charlie Dixon to come back in next week against St Kilda at Marvel. But I think looking at the game and watching it back, I just feel like, I don't know. You just sort of just tick that box and move on, don't you? You don't look at the game and you analyse every minute of it and think, well, we should have done this better, done that better. Because in every game and every situation, you can do something a lot better and a lot different, and that's just the way footy works. But I think with this game in particular, sort of just take the 4 points, take the bit of percentage boost, know that we probably could have done better, and it's just one of those games of football. You just think, every side will play. Like we have beaten the bottom side, and we're just looking at it going, I do not want to watch that again. That is a game that takes 4 points, a little bit of percentage, as I said. A few keynotes from the game itself was the brilliant Connor Rozee was back. 3 votes for him. Peter Badco medalist. Definitely well deserved with his 29 touches and 2 goals. I thought his game was just a standout, shining light. In a highlightless kind of game, it wasn't really anything that got people going. I felt that energy in the crowd when watching it back. Obviously I didn't attend, but all the energy that was in the build up with ANZAC round and the national anthem, singing the song, that's always there because it's such a special round. But when it comes to the goals we kicked, I know I'll get to Ollie Lord in a second, but the goals we kicked at stages of the game, even the Rioli goal that was really nice in the third quarter, there was never that oomph in the crowd. It just didn't really get to those exciting levels, and I think the crowd sensed that. I think the players sort of sensed that, and it was a bit of a lack of energy that was there throughout the day that didn't really was probably one of the reasons why we didn't get to that 60-70 point thumping that we probably wanted. So roll in first quarter, Ollie Lord takes a mark. He's 40 out. He's obviously sprayed one before. Hasn't had big opportunities. This is his first time kicking at goal. He takes his full 30 seconds. In fact, he took his full 40 seconds because by the time he went to line up for goal, it'd been called play on. And the commentators were right. They said that he didn't have time to think. It was pure instinct, kick the goal. And it was a lovely goal in the end. And congratulations to Ollie. I think he really competed well. And that was something that has probably not lacked, but it's nice to know that in the depth of having a forward line opportunity like he did with Marshall going down, he owned his own role, and I was very impressed by that. I really thought that he created the chances, impacted the contest, and took his own marks and had his chances to kick goals. So well done, Ollie, on his debut. I think it's a really special moment and one he'll cherish, and it's good to get a win in your first game as well. So well done, Ollie. Fantastic job. Standout performance as well was Joseph Finlayson. Now, we obviously know the story that he's got and the heartbreak that Kelly and her situation is, but for him to come out, kick 5, I think West Coast is starting to become a bit of his bunny, because he kicked 5 last year in the corresponding game at the Adelaide Oval, and now this year he's kicked 5 again and just really opened the door up for him. He's starting to build his season. I know he missed the first 2 games, and the showdown he sort of built his way in, and then the Sydney game he was obviously fantastic with 3 goals. The game last week against the Dogs, he was okay, but just had to change his role into the ruck, and now with Dixon out and then Teakle playing that main ruck role. Finlayson played a more predominant forward line game, and he definitely just had his chances. He took them as well, and his leading patterns were fantastic. And it was great to see Jazza just own the moment, own the time to kick 5 in a forward line that probably was dysfunctional at stages throughout the day. Is very, very impressive. I say dysfunctional because you don't read names like Burton. You don't read names like Darcy Byrne-Jones. I think Dylan Williams went up there at one stage. It's just weird to see Byrne-Jones goals, Burton goals. You know, it was a real spread yesterday. Rioli kicked a couple and Rosie kicked a couple, and it was real just a spread of love for goals, which is great. And I think that's what a functional forward line does. But it's just lacking that component, isn't it? And for us to kick over 100 points, though, that's still very, very impressive. I think it's the second time this year. Looking across the park, I think Tom Jonas is going to be in a bit of strife with his head clash. I don't think that's normally warranting a suspension, but he'll probably get a week there. And I do feel like he definitely isn't in good form, is he, Tom Jonas? It's sad because as captain, you want to do so much for everyone and make sure that you play a very good game. But when you're simply not in the form that you'd like to be, it's a very tough little bubble to get out of. And I think he has the mental strength and capacity to do that, and he'll find his way. But just sometimes it's just, you just got to know, right, I've got to do something here to change this up. And I think he's in that situation at the moment. Aaliyah was very good. I thought our defence just lacked that energy throughout the day. Mackenzie was okay. For us to let someone like Cully kick 4 goals certainly is a little bit of a dagger into the defensive heart, because we've been very, very good with our defence over the last 3 weeks. I think we're averaging like 66 points against since the showdown, which is very impressive. And that's defensively a very good game. But especially in the third quarter, we sort of just came out of that halftime break and just lacked energy, lacked enthusiasm. We're just doing what we had to do, going through the motions a bit. We didn't have that killer instinct, which I know we've lacked at stages throughout the last few years. So I think overall, the performance of the team is that, as I said before, you're just ticking that box and winning the game of football, getting the points, get the percentage, and we go into next week against St Kilda with momentum. It's a 6-day break, hopefully getting Charlie Dixon back, and it's going to be a massive game. We're going to be 100% switched on. Friday night footy at Marvel. We've got a very good record. Take this West Coast win and go into our go into the motions, get ready for next week. So, Port fans, let me know in the comments below your thoughts about that game and what you thought of Port Adelaide versus West Coast ANZAC round. It was sad to miss, but at the same time, from what I watched back in the replay, didn't really miss much. So, looking forward to next week now. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're new for plenty more Port Adelaide and AFL content to come your way. The glass table will be out on Wednesday. Obviously, ANZAC round is still tracking along nicely with some big results happening. So, looking forward to seeing what you guys think of those as well, and make sure you tune into the glass table for the latest episode. My name's Anthony. Thank you very much for watching. We'll see you next time. And as always, come.